old fashions. Depending on where you go to get your old fashions, the classic way everybody might know, you're looking at an old bottle of Pikesville rye before they were rebranded as a premium rye. We have a very precious stash of this, by the way. I grew up drinking this stuff. Used to actually be distilled in Pikesville, Maryland, by the way. But on the subject of old fashions, often you'll see it muddled with, of course, a sugar cube, some bitters, an orange section, and a cherry. Even the use of a section of fruit versus zest is actually a pretty heated debate. If you look back, we do some research on historical recipes. The mention of old fashioned as a cocktail, I think, first appears in the early 19th century, with recipes not appearing until maybe the mid or late 19th century. So we're talking about mid or late 1800s. And it's a style, it's really a technique rather than a recipe itself. So what it typically involved classically was, yes, a sugar cube. Cubes are great because they are already pre-portioned. You don't have to do any guesswork about a teaspoon, half teaspoon. It's very easy to have a box of sugar cubes behind your bar. Some people like the 1, some people like 3, whatever it is. A lot of bars, many bars that I've worked at will have a pre-prepared simple syrup in a bottle that we add a couple of dashes, which is fine. The only difference is you really can control water content and sugar content if you have sugar cubes and add water at the end, which is what we're gonna do. It's more classic style. And then in order to flavor the cocktail, of course, and help us smash down the sugar and get it dissolved, we have the classic Angostura bitters. Bitters is usually just a tincture of bitter herbs, roots, things like that. Medicinal also adds flavor to the cocktail. And you want to soak the sugar cube, and that'll get the process of dissolving it started. And then, as I mentioned, classically speaking, it was the fruit zest that was used, never the entire fruit. And if you think about it, what we just talked about, the pith being bitter and imparting unwanted flavors and not really contributing anything beneficial to the cocktail. Yes, the pulp of the fruit, an orange for instance, will add sweetness and citrus flavor to it, but you're also mashing in the white, the pith, so you're adding bitterness. And there's 2 schools of thought. I happen to belong to the one where we do not use fruit, we use only the zest. So we'll cut another zest. We'll prepare it the same way as last time. Get the essential oils going, and you can sort of see the glistening on the surface now once you get those cell walls broken. Kind of deposit those on the edge again so that when we raise it to our nose and mouth to drink, we're getting hit with all those very fresh and clean aromas. Put that in, and since we're not having to mash down entire pieces of fruit, an orange slice, cherry, what have you, no cherries in my old fashions, it should be fairly easy to just get this thing see it has absorbed bitters. At this point we add just a little bit of water, just the tiniest bit, and some ice. All this is to help agitate the cocktail. Big cubes if you have them, if that's what you prefer. Stir it, and then your liquor itself. So if you look at old recipes for an old fashioned, the components simply are fruit zest, citrus zest, sugar, bitters, water, and water is almost always included in these old recipes, and some sort of alcohol. Now we're used to whiskeys being the main component of an old fashioned, but if you look again at older recipes, this is a method that can be employed to enjoy all kinds of spirits, whether it's bourbon, rye, gin, rum. Those are all acceptable main components of an old fashioned. So here we go, this is a classic old fashioned. Give it a shot, see if you like it. Next time I see you at the bar, I'll be happy to make you one. Thank you very much.